Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Tuesday morning is the 8th day of August, 2023, 8/8/23. This is the morning briefing coming to you from my home weather office where I give you an idea of what's going to be happening as we go through the rest of today and, well, for the next few days. And, well, this morning we'll even take a look ahead toward the next week. But as I look out the window from the home office this morning, nothing but blue sky out there. An interesting temperature pattern throughout the area as well, with areas closer to the delta, quite a bit cooler, areas in the foothills still quite a bit warmer. I'll show you more on that. And someone was asking yesterday about how this summer has gone, and someone in the comments section said something about how it is felt quite a bit cooler than last year, or maybe milder might be the better word. And that's true. So just in terms of 100-degree days in Sacramento, as of today, Sacramento's had 17 days above 100 degrees. Now, the average for the year for Sacramento is 22, 23, right in that range. And here we're at 17, and we still have another, 5 or 6 weeks of heat potential on the way. So it's likely we're going to be exceeding our average once again. But last year at this time, we had already had 25, and we still had some of the hottest days ahead of us. We still had that big heat wave in early September last year. So we're behind last year's pace of 100-degree days, but this year is far from over, and we'll see what the rest of August is going to bring. So with that in mind, let's see what's happening this morning. Big change from yesterday. The onshore breeze is back, as well as the marine layer. Really good marine layer this morning into Napa County. You can see the higher peaks peaking out here in southern Lake County, as most of Sonoma County is covered, as well as, of course, places like Monterey and Carmel, and all the way into Salinas and up towards Santa Cruz, all socked in with fog this morning. And you combine that with the onshore breeze, and areas closer to the breeze, like in here, do stay nice and cool. But the farther away from you get it, there's the Sutter Buttes. You get into the foothills, and we just don't see as much cooling yet. And of course, the Sierra doesn't depend on the delta breezes. It depends more on what overall we'll call synoptic cooling. So let me just give you a snapshot of temperatures. Now, these are the 8 o'clock temperatures. So these aren't the overnight lows, but these are the 8 o'clock temperatures. I just wanted to show you this to give you an idea of the differences we can see. So at Executive Airport, the temperature was 62 degrees, but not all that far away in Auburn, it was 77. So a full 15-degree difference between Executive Airport and Auburn. And it gives you an idea of how the foothills and spots along Highway 49, especially farther to the south into Calaveras and to Tuolumne County, elevations between 2,500 and 3,000 feet, getting off to a very warm start, well into the inversion. But underneath that, temperatures are relatively cool, like Travis Air Force Base at just 60 degrees, and there's that key wind southwesterly at 24. And so you can kind of consider that the air conditioner is on, but it takes a while to cool off the entire room. Stockton, 67, Modesto, 69. But again, even here, farther to the south, you can see how the onshore breeze doesn't really impact areas, let's say, from Merced to the south, Bakersfield, 83 degrees. So, yeah, that's a wide variety of temperatures. And then you go up north, same thing, Redding and Red Bluff in the 70s. And then you look toward areas like closer to the coast. There's the fog that's in Napa, keeping the airport down to just 58 degrees with the wind out of the south at 15. So just coming right in off the bay and right into Napa. So that's the kind of temperature pattern that we'll see throughout the day. So let's say Marysville will probably make the low 90s today. Sacramento probably up to about 90, but Travis Air Force Base maybe only low 80s at best today. And then in the foothills, this temperature difference will even out, and the temperatures in, let's say, Auburn will be very similar to what we have in Sacramento. So let's take a look at the big picture here and talk about not only what's going to happen the rest of this week, but also a peek into next week. Next week. I don't like getting too far ahead of ourselves, but some people are asking about next week because there have been some tweets out there about the potential for extreme heat next week. But let me just show you what we're looking at. So here we are. There's a little trough going by that helped to initiate the cooler air. And then here comes another one going by. This is into the day on Wednesday. And then this is Thursday. So that's a nice pattern right there. That's a really nice pattern for us to help keep temperatures down, and that keeps us in the upper 80s and low 90s. Very comfortable for this time of year. And then we have this little wave down in here. This is entrained in here are the remnants of what used to be Tropical Storm Eugene. Now, it doesn't have any tropical characteristics, just a little bit of vorticity here, but it keeps the troughiness around and then kind of forms into a low that hangs around into the weekend. This is Saturday. What this would do is give us a good flow up from the south. You can just see the flow coming up this way into the Sierra, which would give us the chance of afternoon thunderstorms. Then you also combine that little bit of instability we'll have from this low to give us the chance of afternoon thunderstorms in the Sierra on both Saturday and into the day on Sunday. As you can see right here, that low sticks around. So Sunday, on our 7-day last night, we were still looking at Sunday being 100 degrees. Not all that convinced. It'll be warmer on Sunday, but not convinced we'll make it to 100 degrees. So, but it will be warmer because, as you can see, the flow around that low is actually offshore. We'll have to see what that does to our surface flow. But the other wild card here will be how much cloud cover we get, because if you have this flow and you have thunderstorms developing over the Sierra, that flow takes the clouds down over the valley. So if you have cloud cover, it's in a pattern like this, it's tough to get to 100 degrees. And then this is getting into the day on Monday. That low begins to break down. And then we have this high building as well as the high out in here. At this point, we're still in pretty good shape. But now this is where the farther out in time we get, the less confidence I have in all of this. But this is the pattern that's setting up for the middle part of next week. Big high out here, big high out here, just a huge area of high pressure out in here, which would make all of the western states pretty hot. But again, this is out into what I call fantasy land, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on it to see what happens. And we have certainly seen a couple of times this summer where the extended models, especially out 10 days or so, will forecast something pretty extreme. Something, with temperatures over 110 for the valley. And then by the time it gets to day 3 or 4 and actually gets into our forecast range, it's like, oh, never mind, it's going to be more like 105. So a lot of variability for next week, and we'll be covering that as we go through the next few days. So if you see some output from an app that doesn't look quite believable, keep in mind that when you look at the output from an app, there's no meteorologist that has looked at it. There's no quality control on that. It's just numbers being spit out by an algorithm. There's no meteorologist that has put their name on it. So if you look at some big numbers for next week on an app that you see, just kind of take it with a grain of salt. We'll see what happens next week. In the meantime, the rest of this week looks pretty comfortable, and also in the shorter term, what our other concern is going to be the possibility of those thunderstorms in the Sierra this upcoming weekend. So a couple of things we'll be keeping an eye on over the next few days. But that's everything I've got for you on this Tuesday morning from the home office. Of course, this afternoon I'll be in my suit and tie and in the office and on the TV at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. And because it's Tuesday, there will be a Facebook live chat tonight at 8 o'clock. Cross your fingers that everything goes okay for that. All right, so make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.